Hi, welcome back. In today's video, we would like to have a class called converter, and inside this class, we are going to have three functions that they are going to convert between different units. So in order to create a class, we use the keyword class, then the name of the class is converter. Then we are going to have the colon. In order to define the functions, we use the def keyword and then the name of the function. So the name of this function is kilometer to miles. So we are going to convert kilometer to miles in this function. And we are going to have one argument to call this function. So basically what this function is going to do is the following. So for example, we want to see 10 kilometers is how much miles, okay? Therefore, this function is calculating this for us. So kilometer multiplied by this number is going to give us the equivalent of 10 kilometers in miles unit. Then we are having another function called Celsius to Fahrenheit. So this function also requires one argument. And we are going to see, for example, the degree 25 degree in Celsius is what temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, so we are having a temperature in Celsius, for example, it's 25 degrees, and we would like to see the equivalent of 25 degrees in Celsius. We want to see the equivalent of this temperature in Fahrenheit. In order to do that, there is a formula. So this is the formula, and basically we are going to, for example, call this function with number 25 because the temperature, for example, now is 25, and we would like to see, okay, 25 in Celsius is what temperature in Fahrenheit. So that 25 multiplied by 9 divided by 5 in parentheses, and then plus 32 is going to give us the equivalent of Fahrenheit of 25 degrees in Celsius. Okay, so this is what this function is going to do basically. Then we are having kilogram to pounds. So this function is going to calculate, for example, if we are having, for example, 10 kilograms, we would like to see 10 kilograms equals to what in pounds unit. Okay, so what is the equivalent of 10 kilograms in pounds? This function uses this formula to calculate this for us. So whatever that we are going to calculate, for example, we would like to know the equivalent of 10 kilogram in pounds. We are going to call this function with number 10, and 10 is multiplied by 2.20462. Then the output, this function is going to return us the output of this calculation. So this is my class. So this is the converter class. We are having kilometer to mileage to miles, let's say, Celsius to Fahrenheit, and kilogram to pounds functions. These are three functions that are going to convert different units for us. Then in order to call this function, we learned that we need to first type down the name of the class, use dot here, then kilometer to miles, and inside parentheses we type down number 10 because we would like to know the equivalent of 10 kilometer in miles. So this function is going to calculate that for us and return the output. And basically, because we are calling this function inside a print function, we are going to print the output. Then we are going to do the same with the Celsius to Fahrenheit function. We would like to know the temperature 25 degrees in Celsius is what temperature in Fahrenheit. What is its equivalent in Fahrenheit, let's say. So we call this function Celsius to Fahrenheit, and we're passing number 25 as the argument, and this function is going to do this calculation and return the output, and we are here printing the output. And finally, we are having the function called kilogram to pounds. And we would like to know, for example, 5 kilograms is equals to, let's say, 5 kilograms equals to what in pounds unit. Okay, so we would like to know the conversion of 5 kilograms in pounds. In order to do that, there is a formula here. So we call this function with number 5 as the argument. Then we are going to return the output here. So when I run this code now, we see that the first result is 6.2 approximately, let's say. So 10 kilometers equals to 6.2 miles. Then 25 degrees in Celsius equals 77 degrees in Fahrenheit. And then 5 kilograms equals around 11 pounds. So this is how we grouped three relevant functions for converting between different units in one class called converter, and then one by one we called these functions. Thank you for watching.